All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another mental performance theme of the month. The month is April. Crazy that it's April already. We are going to be talking about body language today. All right, quick review of our other three themes of the month so far. So, as you all know, in January, we talked about being in the yellow. I want you guys to review this really quickly by pausing the video and doing a really quick check-in. Maybe give yourself a percentage of how often you have felt in the yellow this season. And so that could be like per tournament, that could be the whole season. You might be thinking like 75% of the time I'm pretty neutral, but 25% of the time I'm negative. If so, if you do have some negative thoughts still, which is really normal, think about how you can change those into more yellow thoughts. Let's also talk about our mental highlight reel. So I want you guys to continue watching your highlight reel, building to it. It's really good imagery practice, especially going into these final couple qualifiers. And we want us to be seeing ourselves succeeding only and not anything negative towards ourselves. And then our March theme was relaxed mind, focused body. I want you guys to review this by pausing the video and just doing a really quick 5-finger breathing, super simple 5 deep breaths as we trace our fingers, something that you guys can continue to do at tournaments, in your head, even. You don't have to hold your hand out, but any way that you can make sure your body feels relaxed going to these last couple qualifiers. All right. Our theme of the month for April, as I said, we're going to talk about body language. Simple enough. Communication is pretty much constant in sports, but especially on the volleyball court. So we are always talking like to ourselves in our own heads, to each other on the court or for the bench to the court. Coaches are talking to players and vice versa. Players are talking to each other. Parents talk to players. Parents talk to coaches, vice versa. Communication is just a constant thing, even if it's not things being said out loud, it's happening in our heads, it's happening through our body language. It's constant all the time. So we talked about self-talk communication back in January. This is going to be more about obviously our body language. What are our bodies showing our teammates and our team while we're on the court or on the bench? Like I said, body language is just another form of communication. It's how we can talk to our teammates and coaches, but we are always communicating with our bodies, even if we think we're not. Our faces, way we're standing, anything can be kind of noticed and worked on and really help us feel really confident and help our teams feel really confident. So for our activity, we're going to do something called mirroring. Sometimes stressful moments can bring out the worst in us in terms of communication. So let's say you guys have given up a couple points in a row, or you got refs that are bothering you, the other team's bothering you, whatever it is, can bring out really poor communication, can become really internal, negative self-talk, and really negative body language, slumped shoulders, not high-fiving teammates, not smiling, all that stuff can kind of be negative communication, negative body language. To start working on this, I want you guys to find on YouTube highlights from any big college volleyball match this year. Super simple. I'll show in a little bit the match I found, which was basically just looking up Wisconsin, Nebraska volleyball highlights 2022. I got a 5-minute video, super easy. I want you guys to find a video, and I want you first to take detailed notes on how each team responding to losing points. So any big match you're going to watch the highlights of, whether that is the Big Ten or the ACC or the SEC, Pac-12, whoever it is, these are going to be elite volleyball players. Let's look at how they respond when they're in ruts or they lose points. Were their athletes quiet? Did they focus on themselves and not each other? Were they yelling at each other or their coaches or their refs? Anything that you can notice from the team when they're losing points, I want you to take notes of, pause the video, go find the video, go take some notes, resume the video when you're done. All right. On the other hand, scoring and big moments in matches can really bring out the best in us in terms of communication. We feel better about ourselves, so we're saying better stuff to ourselves. We have better and more positive body language. All this stuff kind of just comes hand in hand when things are going well for us. To reflect on this, I want you guys to pause my video and go back to the highlight reel again and basically do the opposite. Look at the teams that score the points, which should be both teams if it's a highlight of the match in general, and take detailed notes on how their teams react to winning. So were they loud? Did they focus on each other, not themselves? Were they pumping each other up, or are they going back to their spots alone? All that stuff's super important. I want you guys to pause my video, go rewatch your quick highlight video you found on YouTube, and take detailed notes about how the teams are responding to winning, then come back and resume my video. All right, like I said, I wanted to show the video I found, just the first 2 points that they show here. I'm going to point out Nebraska's response to losing a point, and then Wisconsin's response to winning a point. The body language examples are perfect of how our team should be doing it, regardless of we're winning or losing. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
Robinson drops it short. Back again.
All right, so Devin Robinson is about to score here. Our focus is going to be on the Nebraska side. I want you guys to watch how they come together after this point.
And Robinson one-on-one, not going to be enough.
Super simple. They're reaching out for high fives for each other. They're not looking to blame. They're not looking at the crowd. They're not even looking at their coach right away. They're coming together and saying whatever they're saying. Hey, we got this. This is where we're going to adjust next time. Whatever it is, really good example here. On our next point, I want you guys to take a look at the Wisconsin side because they're about to score again, and watch how they respond to each other when they score.
Middle. Run in the middle again.
All right, right off the bat, Danielle Hart gets the point. She goes right to her setter and probably says something like, hey, that was a great set. They're all coming together. Setter is looking at defender, saying probably that was a great pass. Whatever their communication is here, it's not even just about themselves as hitters or setters or as passers. They're coming together to say what they did well. They're pumping each other up. I think this is a really great example of ways to respond when we score points.
Danielle Hart.
Awesome. You don't have to watch that again. All right. So how can we use this? How can we be better about this? Oftentimes, we really have no idea how we look on the volleyball court ourselves personally, unless we're always watching film of every point we've ever played. So being more aware of this and how we look on the volleyball court, how we're communicating with our bodies and our faces, is going to help us feel more confident and really help our teammates feel more confident as well. So our next steps, this is going to be another activity you guys do. I want you to imagine for a second that it's 23-23 in a tight match and your teammate just got aced. So probably not feeling very good. I want you guys to find a mirror. If you're watching this in your room, I'm sure you have one, or in your bathroom. And I want you to imitate good and bad body language responses to this situation. And you might be thinking, this is kind of weird, Coach Busy. I don't want to like look in the mirror and do this. This is the best way for us to get better about body language and hold ourselves accountable. So if I'm standing in front of the mirror and I can see myself on the video screen right now, and my teammate got ace, poor body language would be like this, rolling my head back, or not high-fiving her, or giving a high five without making eye contact. Poor body language. If I'm imitating good body language, I'm probably looking at her, clapping, giving a high five in her face, making sure that she knows I got her. Anything that I can do to practice that. Again, might feel weird, but I'm going to really encourage you guys to try this in a situation where maybe a negative thing happened. So after I explain the next scenario, I want you guys to pause the video and practice both of these. Because on the other side, let's say it's 23-23 and your teammate just served an ace, or even you served an ace. Same thing. I want you guys to get in front of the mirror. What does that look like? Are we celebrating our teammates? Are we like really pumping them up? Are we giving high fives? Are we cheering for every single point? Even if it's 0-0 and she got an ace, same thing. So I want you guys to take a couple minutes, pause my video, find a mirror. Maybe you'll laugh a little bit. I think it's a really good activity to take accountability for how do we look when we are showing bad body language, as opposed to how do we look when it's pretty good. So go ahead, take a couple minutes to do that, and then come back to the video. All right, finally, let's talk about moving forward. Let's be really intentional with our body language in the month of April and moving forward the rest of the season. Starting with our shoulders. When we are on the court and it's warm-ups and we see the other team pounding balls, are we slumped? Or are we up high with confidence and showing that we're ready to play? Same thing if we're getting the lineup set, or if we're on the court, or if we've just got aced. Are we slumped over, or are we standing high? Where are eyes? I think eye contact is such an important part of body language. When our coach is giving us feedback, am I looking at this college coach that's walking by, and I looking at the other team, or am I looking at my parents, or am I really locked into my teammates, to my coaches? Super important stuff. Are we just giving energy with our body language? Are we high-fiving after points? Are we ignoring teammates and going back to our spot? Or we're on the bench, are we high-fiving each other on the bench, or are we looking all around the gym? It's a distracting place to be at a volleyball tournament, but this stuff all really matters. How can we be more intentional with this? My final word comes from a sports psychologist that I follow on Instagram, Aaron Omar. He had a really great video about body language, and he said, essentially, if someone came to watch you play your sport, someone came to your court and they couldn't see the score of the game, they should not be able to tell if your team is winning or losing. It could be 25-10 or 20-10. It could be 20-20. You could be up 20-10 or down 20-10. Our body language should stay the exact same if we're winning or losing. That's how intentional we should be about it. That's a really big challenge, but it's going to help us feel more confident. As always, if you guys have any questions about this stuff, if you have any thoughts about it, pull me aside in the gym. If I don't see y'all as we go through the month of April, good luck on our final qualifiers. Let's go get more bids. And as always, go Sting.